RTL 4.
RTL Dossier. Obsessies beheersen mijn leven.
I probably wash my hands maybe 50 or 60 times a day.
Nu bij RTL 4.
Nothing on there.
No.
There's nothing on there.
No.
I'm gonna slide it on. Slide it from there.
Een vrouw die gevaar ziet achter een postzegel. Een meisje dat chips eet met een vork.
A second nature. I couldn't imagine eating them any other way.
En een man die bang is om anderen aan te rijden. Deze stoornis begint onschuldig, maar kan iemands leven volledig gaan beheersen.
It's like a bully. It's like a bully that never ever lets go, and like a dog that's got a bone and won't let go.
What I'm going to do is just going to put my hands in there.
De confrontatie kan helpen.
Yeah, this thing has got a good grip of you, and it's got to be broken because the price you're paying is too high, much too high.
Een wereld waarin alledaagse voorwerpen angst inboezemen. Waarin iets simpels als koken of de deur uitgaan uiterst gevaarlijk lijkt. Waarin obsessies voor besmetting, geweld en rampen iemands leven beheersen. Het overkomt 1 op de 30 mensen en wordt een obsessieve-compulsieve stoornis genoemd. Oftewel een dwangneurose. Dat is een neurologische aandoening waarbij patiënten, gedreven door hun angsten, allerlei bizarre handelingen verrichten. Dit is het huis van een dwangneuroot. Tracy leeft in haar eigen gevangenis van regels en rituelen.
The kettle's a bad one because once I've taken that off there now, I have to keep looking up and down, up and down. Is there anything under there? And that's just toast crumbs. I've got to tell myself it's just crumbs.
Tracy is bang om dingen te verliezen. 24 uur per dag, 7 dagen per week. Daarom controleert ze alles. Steeds weer opnieuw. Iemand een verjaardagskaart sturen is moeilijker dan het lijkt.
Nothing there, nothing there. No.
No.
Tracy is bang dat ze iets in de envelop heeft laten vallen en dat ze het voorgoed kwijt zal zijn. Waar ze precies naar op zoek is onduidelijk. Zelfs voor Tracy.
No price on it.
No.
No sticker on it.
No.
No other writing on it.
No.
Apart from what I've just done.
Yeah.
Alleen al het idee dat ze iets kwijt zou kunnen zijn jaagt haar zoveel angst aan dat ze er alles aan doet om dat te vermijden.
I'm definitely okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Dwangmatige handelingen zijn vaak onlogisch. En hoe vaker Tracy zo'n handeling uitvoert, hoe erger de obsessie wordt.
No.
I don't know if I can do it. Right, nothing there, no?
No.
Nothing on that stamp.
No.
There's nothing on there, that bit there.
No.
There's nothing on there.
No.
There's nothing on there.
No.
I'm going to slide it on. Slide it from there to there.
Zelfs haar man kan haar niet overtuigen.
Another look underneath. You're looking on that?
Yes, try.
Oh, God. I haven't done that for a long time, have I?
It's a severe obsession that you have to do it. Got to do it, got to do it. It's a compulsion. I don't want to do it, but I can't stop myself from doing it. And I get a severe panic, and it starts up from my tummy and goes up my body. Red face, red neck. Just intense fear.
Tracy's angsten en rituelen beheersen haar leven volledig. Toch kunnen zelfs de meest onschuldige handelingen resulteren in een dwangneurose. Zo ook bij de 21-jarige Katie.
The main thing that OCD makes me do is wash my hands. When my OCD first started, I probably washed my hands maybe 50 or 60 times a day. Recently, I suppose I probably washed them 30 or 40 times a day. I had to stop. I was getting sores between my fingers from washing them too much. I remember it starting when I was at middle school, and someone in my class had worms, and they sent around the letter saying, "Make sure your children wash their hands." And I just took it far too seriously, and it just started by me washing my hands extra when I went to the toilet, and then the more I thought about it, the more I washed my hands, and then it got to the point I was washing my hands every chance I could because I was so frightened that the germs would make me ill.
Katie werkt als runner voor een productiemaatschappij in Soho en wordt op straat dagelijks geconfronteerd met allerlei viezigheid. Ze kan haar smetvrees redelijk in de hand houden, behalve als het om eten gaat.
It's pretty much my worst nightmare, yeah. It's just seeing all the fruit, and especially in London as well, with traffic going by, and then stacked up on the floor, like in the roads, by the gutters, of food that people are meant to eat. And no covers, nothing like that. And then they give you your fruit, and they pick it up with their hands that they haven't washed. And all I see is germs somewhere like this. Just everywhere I look, I can just see the germs. I know no one else can, but that's what it feels like. There's just germs everywhere.
Katie is zo bang voor bacteriën dat ze haar eten niet durft aan te raken.
I could never just pick up an apple and eat it. I have to make sure my hands are clean. I have to make sure the food is clean. I haven't actually eaten anything with my hands for maybe 5 or 6 years.
Katie werkt volgens een ingewikkeld systeem van rituelen om besmettingsgevaar te voorkomen. Groenten worden schoongemaakt met mes en vork. Uit elkaar gehouden met huishoudfolie. En gespiest zodat ze kan wassen. Alles om besmetting te voorkomen. En na elke stap eindeloos handen wassen. Veel mensen maken zich zorgen om hygiëne in de keuken, maar Katie gaat hierin wel heel erg ver. Niet alleen bij het klaarmaken, ook bij het eten.
What I do to eat crisps, I call it a picker. Just something like that. And that way I can pick up the crisps without actually having to touch them. And then I can just eat them like that. Well, normally I just use a fork. If I'm at home, then I'll probably just put them on a plate. But it's second nature. I couldn't imagine eating them any other way.
Katie is zich ervan bewust dat niet iedereen er hetzelfde over denkt als zij.
I watch people eating and not washing their hands, and it frightens me. And I think, how can they do it and nothing happened to them?
And you're just not prepared to take the risk of not washing your hands?
It's just too big a risk. It's just... I'd go so far to say that I'd be worried that I'd die if I didn't wash my hands and ate something when I didn't wash my hands.
Tracy is doodsbang om dingen te verliezen, dus gooit ze nooit iets weg.
I keep basically anything and everything, just in case. I was kindly given some flowers this morning, and I'll keep the wrapper. I'll keep newspapers. So now we don't go out and get newspapers because it's easier. If I go out and get a newspaper, it'll be here for the rest of my life. I'll never throw it away. Birthday cards, wrapping paper, everything, you name it, I've got it. Carrier bags. I think I could probably stock every supermarket in Britain. I'm very ashamed to say I've got so many carrier bags.
Het meeste is in de logeerkamer opgestapeld. Het is een bonte verzameling troep.
This is the secret life of an OCD hoarder. Here it is.
Verjaardagsballonnen van 3 maanden geleden. Een kalender van het jaar 2000. Stapels spullen die Tracy gewoon niet weg kan doen.
I feel pretty ashamed actually looking around this. I feel really... It's actually hit me coming in and actually really looking at it, because I just keep the door shut in here all the time.
Voor de dwangneurose was haar leven totaal anders. Tracy had een succesvolle carrière als reisleidster.
Everybody likes the rep. It's oh God, you know, she's our saviour, and I worked hard, but played hard.
Just popped into Solo.
Very confident, very happy, very carefree. Very happy life.
Maar toen gebeurde er iets wat haar leven voorgoed zou veranderen.
It was around 1989 when I was told that we had to suddenly pack up and go at the end of a season. We thought we had a week left to go, and in fact we had a night. And I was very concerned that I had photographs everywhere, lent people things, lent people tapes. I'd got washing still in the washing machine that I had to leave behind, and I think that's when the panic struck in.
Tracy's dwangneurose is inmiddels zo erg geworden dat ze niet meer kan werken. Ook heeft ze haar man Simon zo ver gekregen om haar te helpen bij het controleren.
I need you to pour that water out for me, please. Don't mind.
Simon heeft zijn baan opgezegd omdat Tracy constante zorg nodig heeft.
Did she have OCD at the time that you met her?
Yeah, she did, yeah. But she hid it really well. You know, she never let me go in the spare room or anything when I first met her. She told me one day, sat me down and said, got something to tell you. And I was like, well, what is it? You know, it's something really bad. And she said, I've got this problem I have to check. And I said, is that it? Is that all it is?
Looking.
Yeah?
Oh, dirty.
Right?
It's just bits off the washing up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just bits. Right, throw that away then.
Come on.
You did look properly.
Mm-hmm. Swill it out.
Dwangneuroses kunnen een relatie flink onder druk zetten. Partners worden vaak ingeschakeld om te helpen.
She finds it easier if I'm helping her. Because I have to reassure her if there's anything there.
Al zou Tracy het graag willen, bepaalde dingen kan ze toch echt niet bewaren.
Household rubbish is hard. We do get rid of things, but it takes a long time for it to go, which is probably, I would say, the most humiliating part of my OCD.
The rubbish. I can't stand that one. I have to sit down. I have 2 stalls in the kitchen. I hold the bag, and she checks the rubbish and puts it in.
There's definitely nothing in that bag, is there?
Nothing in that bag.
You sure?
Yeah.
Right, I've got no rings on, have I?
No.
Nothing on my hands
What do you say?
that can fall off.
No.
Nothing there.
No.
But did you look?
Yes, I'm bloody looking.
Nothing there.
No.
Simon, it drives me mad too, you know.
Well, don't keep asking me.
Nothing there.
No, it's right.
Is there anything there, Simon? Is there anything there? Meanwhile, my hand turning. And all the torment that goes on in your head as well. Well, if I don't ask you, will you just look then?
I'm always looking. I haven't got nothing else to do. Have I?
So if I don't ask you every time, you promise me you'll still look.
Try it, I will look. I don't stop looking, right? I keep telling you that.
That's it now. I've had enough. You tie that up. We can do another bed later, I promise you.
Just that?
I promise you, I can't do anymore.
Het kost Tracy 40 minuten om 1/3 van het vuilnis te
It's
controleren.
not much, but I just can't do anymore today. You look on that bit when you take it out as well.
Yeah.
I feel very guilty and very unhappy at what I believe I've done to him. But I've got to try telling myself I haven't done it to him. The OCD has done this to us. Because, unfortunately, I'm very needy having this OCD, and I need him here to help me.
Nothing there. Yeah.
Nothing there.
No. Just made things worse, I think, when I got involved with it all.
Checked it all, didn't we?
We did. It would have been best if I just left her to it. Because I'm in on it now. I've got it in a way, haven't I? Because I have to do the rituals as well.
Have you ever got to the point where you've thought, I've had enough of this?
Yeah. Every day.
You think about leaving?
Oh, yeah. Every day. But I can't because she's my wife and I love her, so... I like to stick by her and help her out.
I just feel like everything I'm touching now, I'm putting germs on myself now. Like if I'm touching my clothes. And...
Cassie, touch the back of my hand there. Just wipe your hand. Give me a good wipe your hands over it. And the other one. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just like that.
Oh.
Okay. Do you think I'm in any danger there?
You're in danger.
So why am I doing it?
I don't know. I don't understand why you're doing it.
Are you worried about me?
Yeah.
Whose fault would it be if anything?
It'd be my fault.
Because?
Because I just put germs on your hand.
Did you ask me to lick my hand?
No.
Right. Does that make a difference that
No.
I chose to do that? Okay.
No.
Katie vindt het vreselijk dat ze haar handen niet kan wassen, maar het is een eerste stap in de goede richting. Dit is de enige manier om haar te confronteren met haar angsten.
I mean, let me tell you a story. It's a daft story, right? A man coming in from Kent on the train, and he's throwing little pieces of paper out the train window. And the ticket collector comes along and says, and why are you doing that, sir? And he says, I'm keeping the elephants off the railway line. The ticket collector says, that's ridiculous. There's no elephants anywhere near the railway line. And the man says, yeah, aren't you pleased I'm doing this? There is a logic to that, isn't there? Because it is true, there's no elephant there, blah, blah. Now, I'm wondering if there's something similar going on here with you, that you do things to stop bad things happening to yourself and other people. Hey, apparently nothing bad's happened to you or other people. So maybe that's been a really good thing to do. Do you see how that would work? How that pattern of thinking would work? Yeah?
It's making a lot more sense now. A lot more sense than it's ever made before. So, and it's just nice to talk to someone who doesn't know me and doesn't know anything about me, and who can actually understand me without knowing anything about me.
Bij de volgende sessie zal Katie het nog moeilijker krijgen. Een dwangneurose beperkt zich niet tot het wassen van handen of het controleren van dingen. Veel patiënten voelen een diepe en irrationele angst om anderen pijn te doen. Justin is bang om iemand dood te rijden.
My current fear at the moment is driving and thoughts of running people over. Flashing amber, still crossing, green, clear the crossing, clear the crossing. When I come to traffic light control crossings or junctions, I either think of not looked properly and run somebody over, or either pulled out in front of somebody, like a cyclist or something, and caused an accident. Some green on the lines, green, clear the lines, slowing up someone crossing the side. Now I'll let them go.
Mensen die snel in paniek raken zullen eerder een dwangneurose ontwikkelen. Maar in de meeste gevallen is er een bepaalde gebeurtenis aan vooraf gegaan. Net als bij Justin.
It all started when I was a witness to a theft at college, and I reported it, and the police were involved, and they asked me to make a statement. And when I went down to the station, they basically turned the cards round and made out it was me, and put the blame on me, and kept me there to the early hours of the morning.
Justin bleek onschuldig, maar het trauma was groot genoeg om hem een dwangneurose te bezorgen.
I became very nervous. I started a lot of the typical OCD traits of hand washing, counting, rituals, those sort of things. So it was then when I realised there's something wrong.
Justin runt samen met zijn vrouw Jackie een pottenbakkerij. Justins dwangneurose heeft vanaf het begin van de relatie hun beide levens gedomineerd. Met de auto als terugkerend thema.
I've always had problems with my driving with OCD. It used to get to such a stage that I used to have to re-go a lot of the routes that I took to check that there weren't any police signs or anybody lying on the road.
The one particular road that we had to work, it was a dual carriageway. And every evening we'd have to go out and retrace that particular route to make sure that he hadn't knocked anybody over. But not just once, 2, 3, 4. I think the maximum was 5 times we could ever go and retrace his driving to make sure there were no blue police signs, because he felt that was his way of verifying that he hadn't run anybody over or done anything wrong.
Na verloop van tijd werden Justins dwanggedachten steeds onheilspellender.
I started having thoughts about harming people with knives or something like that. And there again, even though I'd never do that, it really played on my mind.
If we went to a DIY store or something like that and he saw a mark on the floor, he was convinced it was blood, that he'd stabbed somebody, or, you know, if I asked him to go and fetch a trolley in the supermarket, you know, he couldn't go on his own because he would fear that he would do something while he wasn't with me.
Justin is eigenlijk een heel vriendelijke man die niemand een vlieg kwaad zou kunnen doen. Maar een obsessieve-compulsieve stoornis richt zich op iemands grootste angst. En dat, wat een vreugdevolle gebeurtenis had moeten zijn, versterkte Justins angsten alleen maar.
When Jessica was born, I was over the moon, my first child, and it was a girl. I'd always wanted a little princess. The problem started when we came to take her home, and we went to put her in the car, and I literally froze with fear because I kept thinking that I'd thrown her away in a drain and swapped her with a baby which might have been abandoned outside the entrance of the hospital.
Somehow he'd managed to find another baby who was exactly the same sex, hair colour, weight, etc. And that he had thrown Jessica away. That was the thought.
I was panicking, and I was saying to Jackie, do you think they might have CCTV?
He was so distressed about it, we actually phoned the hospital and spoke to one of the midwives. He wanted to see the CCTV, which would show us leaving the hospital, getting into the car, and verifying that there was no time that we could have actually swapped Jessica over at that point.
De geboorte van een kind, met al zijn verantwoordelijkheden, is een bekende veroorzaker van dwangneurose. Hoewel Jackie en Justin ervaring hadden met dwanggedachten, waren ze hier niet op voorbereid.
When you realise what your partner feels about, you know, the anxieties towards your own baby, it's horrific. I don't think there's any words you could use to describe it.
You just feel your whole world has ended and that you can't live anymore. You feel that if you've harmed your child, how can you live anymore?
Justin zou Jessica nooit kwaad kunnen doen. Maar hoe meer hij zijn best deed om zijn angst te negeren, hoe sterker de obsessie werd.
He used to dwell on the fact, well, it is Jessica, isn't it? And we wrote, or I had to write notes every single night about what she was wearing. Because if she woke up the next morning and she was wearing something different, he'd have another anxiety that he'd been and swapped her in the night.
I would have this doubt, is this baby mine, is this baby mine? And I used to get so upset about it that I couldn't even look at her sometimes. And that just tore me apart because all I wanted to do was to love my child, and I just felt that I couldn't.
When you see somebody lying there crying because they can't get out of bed, because they're afraid of throwing their daughter away, running somebody over, stabbing somebody, you can't help but feel so desperately sorry for them.
Zijn obsessie kon alleen doorbroken worden door de confrontatie aan te gaan. In plaats van zijn gedachten te verdringen, moest Justin zich expres in zogenaamde risicovolle situaties begeven, zodat hij kon zien dat deze helemaal niet zo risicovol waren als hij dacht.
Part of the exposure therapy was to actually walk past bins and sit next to bins with her. The initial reactions was a gut feeling that I can't do this. It's too tough. I kept thinking that the thoughts would turn into reality.
Although we knew the exposure should have been the right track, his one phrase that he kept saying, you know, how can I do exposure about my own flesh and blood, my own little girl? I can't possibly think about putting her into a dustbin and, you know, swapping over for another baby, because it's beyond your own thoughts, really.
Deze gedragstherapie viel hem zwaar, maar het was een voorzichtige stap in de goede richting. Tracy maakt zich op om het huis te verlaten.
That's shut. No, I've shut that. That is shut. The light is off. I'm looking at the light. It is off. Tell myself it is off. That's off. That's off. That's off. That's shut.
Het kost haar 2 uur om alle 5 kamers te controleren.
That switch would be down if that light was on. That is off. Off, off, off.
Tracy is bang dat het huis tijdens haar afwezigheid zal afbranden of overstromen.
The light is off.
Daarom verlaat ze het huis maar 1 keer per week.
I'm feeling really nervous now. Is the light off in there?
Yeah.
You lock the porch door?
Yeah.
All the windows. All the windows are shut. That door is shut. That door is shut. There's nothing on the path. Nothing down here. There's nothing down the path, is there?
Nothing down the path, no.
Yeah, I can see there's nothing down the path, but I don't believe it.
Zelfs als ze al in de auto zit, blijft ze twijfelen.
No, I want to go down there.
No, but... Can you back up again so I can see?
Nothing there. I can't see in the mirror there.
Well, I need to look. Look again.
Yeah?
Sure there's nothing there?
Promise you, there's nothing there.
Okay.
Right? We go.
I don't feel as if we look properly.
We did.
Sure, I don't feel like we did, Simon.
We did.
Okay.
Stop.
Yeah. Still looking behind. Did you look properly?
Yeah?
You sure?
Yeah?
Your whole world just built in on you, and you just live in a world of OCD, and we don't do anything other than OCD. To make sure I've left nothing there. Even normal things for normal people, which would like take seconds to do, it takes up your whole day.
Nothing there.
Sure.
Yeah, very sure. Right, come on. It's all right, we did it. It's all right. Huh?
Everybody's really looking at me now.
No, of course they are. We don't know. Come on.
It's the most horrible, destructive, invasive thing. It's like a bully. It's like a bully that never, ever lets go, and like a dog that's got a bone and won't let go, and it's always bloody there. You just want it to go, you know. I'd like to say that it wouldn't get worse, but it probably will. Because, as I say, I'd probably just stay here in this house forever, and obviously without working, you can't move on, you can't get another place, or you can't see the world, you can't travel more. I'd like to get treatment. I desperately don't want this anymore.
Katie is op weg naar haar tweede therapiesessie. Ze heeft sinds haar eerste bezoek weliswaar vorderingen gemaakt, maar ze durft nog altijd geen voedsel aan te raken.
I was quite surprised at how simple it was to stop doing some of the things that I was doing. I managed to take a Nurofen and have it in my hand and then just take it directly without having to worry about it. I haven't been able to make any changes in terms of how I eat food or how I prepare food. I just can't stop doing it. Yeah, I think I just need him to reiterate what he said before, because I think the more I hear it, then the more I'm going to accept it.
De druk wordt opgevoerd.
Here we go. It's a disabled loo, so it's quite big. Okay, so here we go. Right. Okay, in a place like this, where do you worry about contamination?
Everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere, because it's a loo, okay? So, you just stand there, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just touch a few things. Would you be concerned that I'm now contaminated? Okay, so... Okay, and So, would you think that I'm in danger? Okay. So, what in particular, what danger would you be most worried about for me?
All of the germs everywhere.
Okay, I'm going to do something totally outrageous now, okay? But again, this is me, not you, right? What I'm going to do is just going to put my hands in there and then rub that on my hands, yeah? Right. What do you reckon to that? Do you think I'm foolish? Right, how many times do you think I've done that before? Guess.
A few.
Guess, yeah.
10.
Probably more like sort of 70 or 80 times, I think, yeah? Okay, now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to lick my fingers. Okay, and I've done that loads of times before too. What do you reckon? Do you reckon I'm very, very lucky or something? Do you think that's the way it works?
I think because you've done it so many times before, your immune system's used to toilet water.
Right. Yeah, that's the only reason. So you think I was lucky the first few times? Actually, I've got a clinic full of colleagues who do the same thing as well. And they're all actually alive and well. We haven't had a lot of fatalities and so on. So when the next question I ask is, why am I doing this stuff? I mean, why am I, doing things like touching loo and taking food and things like that?
To prove a point.
What's the point? But what is the point I'm trying to prove?
To prove that it can't do you any harm.
That's right. That is what I'm trying to do. Why am I trying to prove that point?
To show me that you have no harm from doing it.
To help you.
To help me.
Right.
Tot nu toe heeft Paul steeds de risico's genomen. Nu is het de beurt aan Katie.
These things you think are dangerous are not nearly as dangerous. You're overestimating the danger, and that's the problem. I'm not asking you to do what I have just done, but what I'm saying is I want you to be able to do things which are so much less dangerous, like eating food with your hands, for example, like everybody else does. We've got a pack of crisps there. So one possibility is you could open the pack of crisps yourself. Would you be prepared to have a go at that? I just want you to try now to begin to move this log jam.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to grab them over there? They're just in that bag. Okay. How are you feeling just now?
All right.
Do you want to take a break, or you want to carry on?
I'm all right.
Okay. Right. Do you want to have a crack at opening those then? Okay. What's running through your mind now? What's going through your mind this instant?
I want to be able to. But I just can't.
Because if you do, walk me through it. Walk me right through where
I'll get ill.
You get ill. Fatally ill. Because you took a crisp. It's clear, actually, from what we're doing at the moment, that this thing has got a good grip of you. And it needs broken. It's got to be broken. Because the price you're paying and will pay is too high. Much too high. And I think you will be surprised if you start to roll things forward. But you've got to take a leap of faith. And in the end, what you've got to do is at some point, you have to listen to what I'm saying and say, OK, I'm prepared to chance this. And you have to trust me enough to do that. So if you can, see if you can pick one of those out there.
I know that I've got to do it. And if I don't do it, and now's as good a time as any.
Now's the best time. There's no better time than now. Because now is the beginning of the future, right? And the future is what really matters. Yeah. Okay, so how's that feel? Out of 100, how's that feel?
Horrible.
What's running through your mind? Just tell me what's going through your mind right now.
I've just put germs in my mouth.
Which is true.
And what are they going to be doing?
Right.
What are they doing
Okay,
now?
and in your worst fears, what are they doing? Just take me through with your worst fears now.
Spreading germs and disease all over me.
So now you've done that, compare that to what I did earlier. Better, worse?
Worse.
That's worse. So what you did there was worse than what I did earlier. In your own mind, yeah? In reality, now if you stand back...
It's worse because I know that I haven't done that for 10 years maybe or more.
Yeah.
And I know that you've done that.
Loads of times. When people confront things they fear, and I work with anxiety, all what happens to me day in, day out is I see people be brave. And the funny thing is that taking a crisp out of that packet and putting it in your mouth is about as brave a thing as any...
Zijn zijn angsten helemaal verdwenen? Justin is het levende bewijs dat ook de grootste angsten bestreden kunnen worden.
Life now is just as I wanted it to be, as I would have expected it to have been when Jessica was born. He'll take the girls to the park and he'll just be a regular dad.
Things have really changed now. It's more a case that I can love Jessica like anybody else can love their children. The realisation that they're just thoughts has finally come into my mind. And with the birth of our other daughter, strangely enough, I didn't have any thoughts like that. And I think that's where the strength came to sort of realise that these are just thoughts. And since then, we've been doing normal things that normal families do.
He's 1,000 times better than he was. And I know he will still keep getting better. I know there's quirks in his mind that we still have to overcome. And I know we'll get there. But it's brilliant now, really.
Ook Tracy kan deze weg bewandelen. Vandaag zal ze moeten beslissen.
Your decision about treatment and so on. So I'm just wondering how you've done since we've met.
Okay.
What's happened?
It's just been really difficult, Paul. I need the help, I want the help, but I just don't think I can do what was initially asked to do. And I know I don't want to turn it down, but I know I can't do it either, so I just don't know what to do.
Right. Well, what about doing less than was initially said? What about that?
Less is better, but it's still this issue with me that I need to look at it before I throw it away. And I don't want to sort of reason with you or try and persuade you in any way, but if I could just look at things, just quickly, just look at them.
You cannot have your cake and eat it. Don't look for that solution because it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah? You still have this sneaking suspicion that this problem's your friend.
God, I don't think so.
I do.
God, I've never seen it like that.
But you're not ready. I think it's okay not to be ready.
I was so sure and so convinced that this is it, right? You know, I really was genuinely, truthfully ready, I thought. But obviously I don't think I am because I can't agree to doing that at this stage.
No, I understand that.
I just feel so disappointed in myself. I can't do it yet. But then when I say yet, will I ever? When will I ever? I don't know.
So do you feel like you failed yourself? Do you feel like...
Yeah. I've failed again, haven't I? I've failed again, which is the hardest thing to admit when you feel a failure yourself and you're not happy with yourself. I think it's harder than anything because you're the one that's committed this crime of not being able to cope again.
I'm sad for Tracy. I know that if she decided to change things, that she would have been able to do that. That's a pity because her life is so badly damaged. Her life and Simon's life are both so badly damaged by this. So it's a shame.
Tracy's beslissing is niet ongewoon. 1 op de 3 mensen met een dwangneurose is te bang om zich te laten behandelen. Ze blijven, net als Tracy, gevangen in een vicieuze cirkel van angst.
Als Janet heel geconcentreerd werkt, is er niets aan de hand. Maar als ze zich wil ontspannen, trekken al haar spieren samen. Ze heeft dystonia, een storing in de hersenen.
It's annoying because it's as if there's something in control of you.
I'm squeezing to get a sound out.
Botox-injecties helpen tijdelijk en elektroden in de hersenen kunnen de ziekte te slim af zijn.
Can you remember what life was like before dystonia?
Dossier Ruzie met je spieren, volgende week zondag bij RTL 4.
Zo dadelijk in het late nieuws. Vermiste familie Kas uit Zeist is terecht. En honden kunnen kanker bij mensen ruiken.